Alright, so this is my friends Keon and Beth, and today we are going to be discussing new age media, guys. So you know what new age media is, right? New age, new age media is basically everything that we take advantage of today. So we're just gonna start off with a little, warm up topic for real, for real. Um, so what would you do if you lost your phone for a week?
Um, I don't really know. Probably just, borrow one of my friend's phone if I really need it. Just sit around the house, look at my ceiling.
But you can't use anybody else's phone. So like, basically the premise of this is like, how are you gonna go about your daily life, your daily activities? How are you gonna go about socializing with people now that you can't use, the new media stuff like Instagram, smartphones, everything that comes with them.
I would use my laptop. You can email.
You can email with your laptop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's tough.
If I was that'd be tough. 'Cause I don't have like a clock or anything in that room. I typically just use my phone. So it's like, I have to really start like relying on like anything else I got. The sun.
All right. So take all that out, right? Let's just take all that away. Like, you don't have your phone, but you can't use anybody else's stuff, So like, think of it by the premise of that, you're just basically how you gonna go about socializing with people, interactions like that, besides like getting in contact with people.
Man, I probably have to like post up somewhere and just like hope and wait and be like, they're gonna get lunch sooner or later, like I'll wait,
Like when you're waiting for just to holler at somebody, you're just gonna be posted up.
Basically.
Posted up. But you, Beth, you don't got your phone now. No laptop either.
You said no. You said cell phone.
I mean, but fine. Go ahead.
If I'll use my laptop.
Besides that, though.
Besides that, I can't.
Like how are you gonna go with with your social interaction? So like you can't like, for instance, you can email, but how is it, not everybody's gonna check their email, so like that makes your interaction that much slower. You know what I'm saying? So like, how are you going to like go about your interactions day to day? Cause you got a whole week without it. So like, how you gonna meet them at the caf to get the caf? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna?
Then in that case, I'll probably go to their door, write little notes if they see it.
Write notes.
Yeah.
Old age media. All right, guys. What about you? What do you think you would do like for interactions like day to day a little?
Just hope. That's mostly what I could do.
Hope and pray.
Hope I can see him. If not, then oh well.
Alright, that's cool. That was a little easy, warm up. Basically that's just to, see like, how much having our phones, because the new age media, most of that is just like us having our phones, like, and that's a big part of our day-to-day lives. The other day, I walked out the house, I left my phone in my man's room, and the entire time we in this party, I'm just feeling my pocket like, oh my gosh, like, what am I gonna do? Like, some people actually, I wasn't anxious, but some people, actually get anxious, because they don't have their device with them to do whatever they please with it, you know what I'm saying? So, that being said, what would you do if you're placed in the age before new media, so before the internet, so basically before 1990? How are you gonna go about, now it's the real question, how do you go about interactions, all the interactions we do today, whether it's, liking someone's picture on their post, doing question and answers to get to know more people, meeting new people. How do you go about meeting new people now? How do you go about networking yourself without using social media, which makes it so easy? That was a lot to take in, sorry.
No, I don't understand. Well, I guess in order to do that, I'd have to like just see what's going around downtown, just like see if there's any events, see if anything's happening.
Yeah, you can make flyers, and everybody can meet up at that specific location.
So like if you're trying to network yourself for like an event, you make flyers, you go out, talk to people, you know what I'm saying? Like I would say, for me more or less, I would be going out and talking to more people one-on-ones, one-on-ones probably before 1990 were all the thing, you know what I'm saying? Before you could just, if you want to holler at someone, before you could just, kind of like their picture, DM them, however you go about it, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Before you had to actually put yourself on the line.
Or like find
Well,
an app or something like that.
Yeah,
just
you
do
know
it
what I'm
for you.
saying? Like
Yeah.
no Tinder,
Mhm.
no Facebook, no nothing, like no help. You feel me? So yeah. So what were you saying?
I was saying with the flyers, everybody can be at that specific location. So since you don't have social media or like your phone and stuff like that, I always post flyers everywhere around me or like wherever you are, like city or like campus or.
Excuse that. Excuse that. But yeah, like that's tough. That's tough. So, you know, before the internet, basically, you know, old age. So I'm gonna say old age media. So old age media is everything that you did for the internet. Pagers, email. Well, emails 90/90, but like you know what I'm saying, pagers, phone, and everything that came with that. But you know, it took a little bit longer for information to get back and forth before, you know, and then before it would take even longer. You know, you're talking about the 1400s, 1500s, 1700s, where it was all messengers, writing notes, like you said earlier. You know, you're going to have to leave notes in places. If you left your house, how do you text it? Let your mom know you left the house. Oh, I'm going to write a little note, blah, blah, blah. You know, your interpersonal relationships. So you know what interpersonal relationships are? Do you guys know what interpersonal personal relationships? How do you say that, you know, new age media affects interpersonal personal relationships, meaning like how you interact with the people that you're closest to and how you socialize with new people?
Think about that one for a second.
It's a lot to take in, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, getting to know someone like this nowadays, especially with new age media, you can just follow their page, see if there's like a lot of similarities, see if they follow the same kind of people, and just assume that, hey, if they're into my kind of stuff, then we must have a lot of similar interests. But you have to actually dig into like their, you know, person, try to figure out what they actually know,
You know,
what they don't know.
Their core personality, their values, all that. You
Yeah.
can't do that, you know, when you have no internet, you know. So like, do you think that especially just made it easier, you know, for people to get in,
Most
to get to
definitely.
know other people, to network?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Like,
say-
you know, someone could have like a Nirvana t-shirt or something like that and not even know what the band is, just thought it was a cool shirt.
Exactly.
You have to take the gamble whether or not they know it or not, you know?
Oh yeah. What about you? Would you say it makes it easier for social and interpersonal relationships to, you know, manifest under new age media, and how harder do you think it was, or how different do you think it was versus the old age media being?
Very good question. I basically what Ethan said, to be honest, but I feel like back in the day it was harder versus now because we have so much going on with social media. So I feel like back in the day they kind of struggled a little bit, as in like you said, with like communication, like meeting somewhere. So.
Alright, so we're gonna switch the topic to discuss just a little bit, you know, to make it a little easier to discuss. So let's talk about what's going on right now. So the election just happened. Biden has won the presidency. He won more electorals than Trump did. And you know, the media, new age media is huge, and basically everybody's spreading their opinions, talking about and socializing about what they feel is best for the world. Or for like people living, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there's so much sharing in their opinions. Do you feel that new age media has allowed for people to be like more aggressive, more vocal, instead of back in the day where if Trump ran back in the day against, you know, God knows who, do you think it would have been as volatile, or do you think it would have been like, you know, the stuff that he says out his mouth, would you think it would register the same? Would people pick it up the same without the media being in your ear every second of the day?
Oh, it
you
would
know what I'm
definitely
saying?
be different. 'Cause, like, even with this election, like, Trump said, like, right as, like, the polls are going in, you know, he's like, I've won, you know, just, like, instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, with old age media, you can't do that, because you have to, like, either print it like a newspaper, you have to, like, you know, plan it out, or, like, you know, have it on the radio and just say, like, oh, this is the current results, or this is confirmed, because you know, spread misinformation, you lose ratings, you lose credibility,
Yeah.
you know?
Alright.
But, like, with Twitter, you can just
Yeah.
and just not think about
It's
it.
just a longer process back in the day.
Longer
Back in the
process
day,
of
yeah.
information just getting to people. Do you feel that new age media has allowed for way more misinformation to spread, or do you think that it's the same type of information just falling on different ears?
I think new information definitely allows more misinformation, or new age media definitely allows for more misinformation to be spread because the consequences of spreading misinformation is very low. Like you might get like temporarily banned from your account for like spreading too much information, or get flagged or something like that. But like back in the day, if you mess up, you messed up, and that's your whole credibility. You know.
Yeah.
If you mess up, you mess up.
You mess up
Yeah.
that. Thank you. So, okay, so we're gonna talk. So, like next, let's go into like, finally right here. Like, how do you feel? Our generation, we're Generation Z. Generation, the millennials is the people who were born during the age of new media, coming into that age when the internet was just made, so 1990. And then you have Generation X behind them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Gen X, is it?
Yeah.
So, like, how do you feel new media has changed their lives versus us being born into it? Do you think that it's massively significant for them in their lives and how it's changed the way they interact? Or do you think that it hasn't really much changed them as a generation versus us and the millennials, where we've grown up into technology, into, all these media outlets, Instagram, all this stuff, or, came into it? What do you think is, how do you think it's changed for them, changed their lives for them versus us? So it was a little hard, but like, just basically saying, what do you feel like is the biggest difference for them, new age media makes for them versus for us? What's there?
I think like with new age media, especially for older generations, it brings out a lot of like stereotypes and stigmas that either they don't really know or they just get a very strong biased opinion about things,
So like,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
But like whatever's hot on like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter might not be the best led portrayal of something, and they might not understand that this is either satire, or this is just a minor incident or a very rare event.
So they'll take little things seriously and things that are not that serious. Or they'll view like just random stuff with high amounts of credibility because they're like, oh, if it's on the internet, it has to be true, that kind of thing. So do you feel like you would say that older generations, new age media makes them more susceptible to misinformation rather than younger people?
Yeah, because like with the older forms of media, like the newspaper and like even like the news on TV, they have to get their stories right and they have to get their facts straight. Because like even if they don't, they lose credibility, or some other channel's gonna like say that, oh yeah, this channel is doing bad reporting or something like that, and they get.
I mean, CNN lost their credibility when they said Hillary won, so
Exactly.
that was a little bit crazy.
And then people would move to the next,
And then the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. What about you, Beth?
I don't know if this answers the question, but like, following on with Ethan, I feel like with our generation, it kind of like brings more like, I don't know, like mental, like, it's like a mental thing with us, with the media. Cause back in the day, since they didn't have like that much media, it was just based off as like surroundings, I guess.
Okay, so let me help you out there. So like, would you say that our new age media, back in the day, for instance, like depression, our new age media allows us, a generation, to make light of things that they wouldn't have made light on because not enough people are saying nothing, or not enough people can come together. When you can get on the internet and say a hashtag, it brings awareness to everything, like we see with Black Lives Matter, all that stuff like that. So is that what you're basically saying? Like, with older generations, it'd be like, well, it is what it is. We can't really do nothing about it. Whereas we're like, well, you say that, but we can do something about it. We just need to talk about it. And media, having Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, smartphones and everything that goes into that, allows us to just interact with each other from afar, especially during a time where you need to be far from each other, or you need to be aware of each other. But yeah, that's it, for real. Thank you for discussing this with me.
No problem.
Y'all have fun in the rain? It's like, no.